We're making our way towards Fairbanks this morning, and we've gone over a couple of rivers, but interestingly enough, they've all been pretty much dried up. David said he thinks they're silted in, so it's kind of interesting. We're not quite sure what's going on. There's still a little bit of water in them, but mostly dry. We stopped for lunch and finally found a spot to let the kitties out. It's been a little bit wet yesterday and today and pretty cold, so we waited till it warmed up a little bit this afternoon. But Nutty's having a great time. David and Tyga are off somewhere else having a great time. Just exploring a little bit before we head on further to Fairbanks.
Prancing right along. So we were going on a walk with the cats and we came across these odd looking buildings. At first I almost thought it was some sort of porta potty or something, but on one of the signs it says no trespassing. It's illegal to enter or use this ice fishing hut without paying a fee first. So I guess that makes sense why they're on skids. I guess they just drag them out on the lake whenever it freezes over, and then you got a nice little hut to sit in and stay warm. You can see from their stacks, I guess you can have a little fire in there while you ice fish, so kind of cool. She's a quick little one.
You could almost take her running.
I know.
When she wants to run.
Yeah, the only problem is she stops a lot quicker than I do.
Close to Fairbanks. Looks like we're only about 20 minutes outside of the city center, so that's exciting. On our way in, we passed through the North Pole, Alaska. We were trying to get some shots, but unfortunately there weren't too many options as we went past on the road. But it seems like a lot of the businesses in town really get into it. Even the welding company had put up some candy canes in front, and the McDonald's on their sign, they had striped it like a candy cane as well. So interesting things. We weren't expecting to see the North Pole up here. But I guess you never know what you're in for. With a favorable weather forecast and high hopes of reaching Deadhorse before snow set in, we decided to stock up with provisions in Fairbanks and head for the Dalton Highway.
All right, pretty exciting moment. Just getting to the sign for the James W. Dalton Highway. It's about 416 miles long, and almost immediately the road goes from paved to what looks like dirt. And we actually passed the sign and didn't realize it and had to turn around and come back so we could get a picture with the sign. But even just from that little bit of frost we had last night, there's a nice slick coating on the road, so should be an exciting 400 miles of travel. See, pretty cool here. Everybody's got their stickers on the signs. We haven't quite made ours yet, but those are in the making.
The James W. Dalton Highway is the northernmost stretch of the Pan American Highway, which connects the oil fields of Prudhoe Bay to Livingood, Fairbanks, and beyond. It was built as a haul road for the Alaskan Pipeline, but has since become a point of interest for overlanders and other crazy people like us wanting to traverse this remote wilderness and reach the Arctic Ocean.
So I haven't really felt like we were in Alaska 100% until we hit the Dalton Highway. We've hit sections of freezing rain, snow, ice. We're in some thick fog right now. And I can't quite figure out this highway. It's very peculiar. even the dirt sections really aren't that bad. They're pretty well graded. And I've spent quite a bit of time at surface mines, and then also like slurry impoundments at underground mines. It almost feels like I'm just driving on one of those haul roads, very similar to that. But the thing that's really weird about this road is there will be, like right now, we're on a paved section, but it'll only be paved for like a quarter of a mile, and then it goes back to dirt road. And it's not like they're paving like the super steep sections or the sharp curves. It just feels random to me. So maybe I'll figure it out. We still have 394 miles left of this, so I'll have plenty of time to think about it.
We're making our way north on the Dalton, and when we started this morning, not that far from Fairbanks, it still looked like fall. It's definitely cold, but things have really changed pretty quickly. I think we're only around mile marker 50 on the Dalton Highway, and as you can see, it is very wintry up here. Things have shifted super fast, so we're trying to decide what we want to do. Not quite sure it's worth it. We were hoping to at least make it up to the Arctic Circle, but I think we have somewhere between 60 and 100 more miles, so not sure on a road like this if we really feel like doing that.
Yeah, and just we did look at the weather before we came, and there was no snow in the forecast, and also during the day everything was above freezing. But right now where we're at, it is 29 degrees and getting colder, it seems. So maybe there's just not that accurate weather forecasting up here, but this was definitely not expected. But hopefully things clear up, and this is just an anomaly, but we're only going more north, so the odds of it turning around are probably not very good.
Yeah, so we'll keep you posted. We'll see what we decide. Just a quick update. We talked about it, and as of now, we both feel safe. So we're gonna press on a little further. We're hoping to make it at least to the Arctic Circle, just because we think that would be really cool. I don't think we're gonna go up past that, just because it's already pretty cold, and we're a little bit worried about what the weather might do and how cold it might get tonight. So we're hoping the roads will stay about as they are now, and we'll make it to the Arctic Circle and then just head back. So it would make for a long day, but hopefully we'd get back to at least where it's more fall-like weather before we sleep tonight. So we'll see. The sign currently says we've got 60 miles to the Arctic Circle. We just passed the sign, so.
Yeah, and just to put this road into context, if you've ever seen the show Ice Road Truckers, this is actually the road that they're driving. Which I don't know what period of the year the show is filmed, but I wasn't expecting this for September. But I can see why this road is so notorious.
Yeah, it seems like the sections that are unpaved are maybe actually a little bit better for this kind of weather, so. And there's the pipeline.
Wow. Oh, here's the Yukon River. Yeah, and this bridge, I'm pretty sure we're driving on timbers, or like almost like a 6x6. That's what it looks like, at least. So, and there is definitely some spots where the 6x6s are missing, or chunks are out of them.
Crazy. And you can kind of see up ahead in the distance where the pipeline is.
Yeah, Prudhoe Bay is actually one of the top 20 oil producers in the world. Oh wow, look at this little tent over there they have floating on the river. There's like 3 or 4 vehicles down there and a little John boat in the water. Oh my goodness. Those people are crazy. They do have a little tent on their John boat, I guess, so they put a heater in there and stay warm. Definitely some intense fishermen.
I guess some people say there's no such thing as bad weather, just bad gear. I don't think we have the gear for that.
Life is a winding road, no telling where it goes. Driving through days and nights, won't stop for traffic lights. And I really wanna know if I will ever figure out where the road goes.
So we're driving along. Luckily things have kind of cleared off for us a little bit. We've got blue skies again and luckily no ice. And it's warmed up a little bit. It's actually a balmy 32 degrees. But unfortunately it looks like we're stuck behind an oversized load. I can't quite tell what it is. It almost looks like some sort of Connex structure that they're hauling, and he literally takes up almost the entire highway. So I doubt we're going to be able to get around him. We've slowed down considerably. He's only going about 30 miles an hour. So hopefully they pull over at some point and we can get around them. Or otherwise this road's going to take a lot longer than it would have.
I can't imagine driving that thing. It's so big.
Yeah.
Especially back through those more hairy spots where it was icy.
Yeah, no, it was definitely felt like Arctic weather 20 miles ago. Oh.
Super wild. Oh my gosh, look at him going over those bumps too. Just swaying side to side.
Yeah.
No big deal.
It's super windy right now too. I've had 20-30 mile an hour wind gusts, which isn't horrible, but I'm sure it feels like a tornado driving that big thing around.
Even if I'm falling down, I will keep on searching for my highs. You can say I lost my mind, I will keep on holding my head high.
So we're still on the Dalton Highway. Surprisingly, as we got more north, the weather actually cleared up a little bit for us. We got some blue skies, and we got a good view of the mountains, and it's actually warmed up to right around 40 degrees, which is pretty surprising what we were coming through. So we've kind of changed our mind again, and we're going to try to continue on to Prudhoe Bay. Right now we've got about 270 miles to go until Prudhoe Bay, but we're going to make our first stop in a small town called Coldfoot. The name seems very fitting for this part of the state, where hopefully we can fill up the truck with gas and also fill up our propane tank before we head a little further north and try to scout out somewhere a couple 2 to 3 hours outside of Prudhoe Bay to stay for the night. So the road up until this point has been it's still switching back and forth between being paved and unpaved. We actually had probably a 50 or 60 mile stretch of road that was paved and pretty smooth, and we've just transitioned back to unpaved again. But nothing too bad, just a lot of potholes to dodge. And that wide load that we were stuck behind before, they actually pulled over and let us go around, so we're trying to keep our distance ahead of them so we don't get stuck behind them again.
Jumping from cliffs so high, trusting our wings to fly. Sometimes we're crashing down, but we get up and start from the ground. And I really wanna know if I will ever figure out where falling down, I will keep on searching for my highs.
We've made it to Coldfoot, and we're stopping to get some gas. It's the teeniest little gas station. You really wouldn't know it was a gas station from the road. You couldn't see anything from the road. It's kind of wild.
Price per gallon is $7.49.
Woof! We just filled up in Coldfoot. We filled up our propane and our gas, and we were asking because we thought this was where the Arctic Circle is, but we asked a local and he said, "Oh no, you're already 60 miles past the Arctic Circle." So I guess we saw a sign for the Arctic. We saw something Arctic.
I think it was just a camp.
That's
and I
what
thought
we
that
thought.
was just a sign for like an Arctic Circle camp or whatever, but
Yeah, there's a campground called the Arctic Campground, so we thought that's what we were passing, but whoops, apparently not.
yeah, this fill up in Coldfoot is definitely the most I've ever paid for a gallon of gas. It was $7.49 per gallon. So in total to fill up the truck it was like $230, which we also topped off our propane tank too though. But
Yeah.
pretty pricey, but what are you gonna do? There's not anything else up here. So
Better safe than sorry. We'll
Yep.
see. It may get more expensive once we make it to Prudhoe Bay,
yeah,
but it's worth it.
yep.
We've got some Arctic kitties here. There's not so many great places to let them stretch their legs along the Dalton Highway, so we're making do with the parking lot today. It's pretty chilly, but Nutty's not complaining yet. Alright, we've really lucked out. Apparently, this visitor center also has a trail.
The kikis are happy. Get to stretch their legs out a little bit. It's not too cold here yet. I was just looking at the weather forecast while we have service for a few minutes, and we really kind of lucked out timing wise. So today's Wednesday, and the low is 29 today, which is not terrible, but by Saturday the lows dip down into the teens. So and also there's snow in the forecast for Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So we'll have a quick trip into Prudhoe Bay and out, but just in time it seems.
Hopefully.
That loud truck has made her a little nervous.
Nutty is very interested in this sign. Tyga's intrigued as well.
Gotta read the sign, see what it's all about.
Alright, my fingers are pretty cold. I would think Nutty's paws are cold, but she is not done walking.
You can say I lost my mind, I will keep on holding my head high. Even if the sky is falling down, even if the sky is falling down, yeah. The sky is falling down.
So we've got about 200 miles left till we make it to Deadhorse. The views are still pretty stunning, and it is getting colder. Cooler and colder. But we're trying to figure out where we want to stay for the night. In theory, we wouldn't drive the full way tonight, and we'd rather stay somewhere in the middle, but after looking at a couple weather apps, we're feeling like we might need to expedite our travels a little bit.
Yeah, so it's looking like tomorrow afternoon in Coldfoot, there's potential for some freezing rain. So the goal for today is to get as close to Deadhorse, Prudhoe Bay as we can. That way we can wake up early in the morning tomorrow, make it and check out the bay, and hopefully get a bus to go see the water, and then shortly thereafter head out and try to be south of Coldfoot, if not all the way off the Dalton Highway tomorrow. So it's definitely going to be a couple long days, but after seeing this road and how remote everything is, and how little help you'll have if something happens, I definitely out here in freezing rain. Because as we've seen, these truckers that drive this highway must get paid by the mile because they fly all over the place. So definitely don't want to be around them either in the freezing rain. So
yeah, and depending on which weather app you look at, one says there's basically a very slim chance of getting precipitation tomorrow, but the other says it's very, very likely. So it's hard to know for sure, and based on what we've already driven through today, some of those areas said we weren't going to see any precipitation there either, and we saw lots of ice and snow. So just given that, we want to be more safe than sorry if we can. So we'll probably try to hoof it a little bit further and get up early tomorrow morning and get moving. So we'll keep you posted. We'll see where we end up tonight.
So we're still on the Dalton Highway. Stopped for a moment of reprieve on the road. The road has gotten decidedly worse. There's many areas where it's completely dirt and washboarded. It badly needs a grader to run through and smooth things out. I kind of find it a little bit comical that they have this guardrail up on this dirt road. But I would think paving the road would be a higher priority. But I guess I didn't put the road in, so. But at least we have some awesome views while we continue slowly down the Dalton Highway.
All right, we just came up the mountain pass and we had to pull over because the views are incredible. It's absolutely wild. Let me see if I can get this turned around. It's almost a full panorama of sweeping, snowy mountains that look like they just go on for days. How stunning.
Hey darling, can I tell you what's been on my mind? Sick and tired of the 9 to 5 in the city life. Hey darling, we could get out of town, see the beautiful world around, wanna see it now. Pack our bags and get in that car, leave a little note and we'll drive real far. Let's get out, we can leave this city. Let's drive to the open air. Yeah, the countryside is so pretty, with the wind blowing in your hair. We can look back someday, baby, don't you understand that we only get one life? I wanna make it count, honey, come on now and take my hand.
We are heading upwards through the mountain pass. We saw a sign that said, "Avalanche area, do not stop." And it said you're supposed to call this number on a CB radio before going through. Unfortunately, we don't have a CB radio. So hopefully we're gonna be okay. But these views are absolutely incredible. It feels like we're in Lord of the Rings or maybe Narnia.
Yeah, we've gone up several thousand feet here in a short amount of time. This road has just kind of gone up and snaked back and forth up this mountain. As you can see, we're surrounded completely by snow. The temperature has dropped pretty rapidly, and the road condition is still not great. I'll have to say this is the most nervous I've been on this highway so far, just because if you break down, you're kind of screwed. But we just got to trudge on. The main goal for tonight is just to make it out of this mountain range, and then we'll probably look for a place to camp thereafter. Just because it's already 5 o'clock now, and just in case something happens, I don't want to be working on anything in the dark. But man, are these views spectacular.
It's wild. Absolutely wild. But we're thinking good thoughts. Send us some positive vibes. And with any luck, we're gonna make it out of here.
Suffered its first battle wound. We were driving down the haul road, and it kind of got a little bit narrow, and it was an area where they had gravel, and there was a truck coming the other way. He had a flatbed, and it looked like some sort of road compactor in the back. He was flying, had to be going like 55, 60 miles an hour, and we were kind of coming around a slight turn, and I got over on my side as far as I could, but he threw two huge rocks at the windshield. Luckily, only one hit. I don't know if you want to show them the damage, but it ended up busting the windshield and actually shot some glass. And that landed in that speaker there. Luckily, nothing got on Rachel, and we're okay. And we were in an area where we had service, so we've already got the claim process started, and through Geico it's only like $50 to have your windshield replaced. So not too bad of a first battle wound, but we can now say we're not making it out of the Dalton Highway unscathed. So hopefully this is it. We still got a lot of miles to travel, so we'll see.
We made it to our campsite. It's very cold. Oh my gosh. It says it's maybe 37 degrees, but it feels, I don't know, much colder. Let's see how dirty the camper is. Driving the Dalton Highway is quite the endeavor. Where we're staying tonight is actually a campground that is free. It's mostly primitive camping. It does look like there's a pit toilet over there, although I'm not sure if it's unlocked. Some of them are already closed for the season. But should be a nice spot. We filled up our propane and Coldfoot, thankfully, so we should be warm and toasty all evening. We're going to try to go to bed early and get to it bright and early, potentially before the sun rises. Just so we can get a good start, make it up to Prudhoe Bay, and then hopefully back down before it snows much tomorrow. The forecast for the next few days around here show snow and more snow. So it looks like it starts around 5 p.m. tomorrow, where we are right now, so obviously we need to get the heck out of Dodge. But with any luck, we should be far past here this time tomorrow.
So it's Thursday morning, about 7:30 or so. We woke up a little early to get a fresh start. There's actually some weather coming in tonight, and there was a severe weather warning issued by the National Weather Service for the Brooks Mountain Range tonight. So we've decided to go ahead and head back towards Fairbanks. We did some looking into Prudhoe Bay, and with how late in the year it is right now, they're actually not even doing tours to the Arctic Ocean. So even if we drove up there the extra 3 hours there and 3 hours back, we want to get to see the water. And really, for the most part, the Brooks Mountain Range, from what I can see on the map at least, is the best views. And also from our experience with this highway, I definitely don't want to be caught on it in a snowstorm going through the mountain range. That mountain range was pretty gnarly yesterday.
On a good day.
yeah, and that was on a good day. It wasn't even snowing then, so it seems like it would be pretty bad if we got caught in the middle of a snowstorm. So
we're heading back. We've decided to turn back. So we're at the kind of on the other side of the mountain pass of the Brooks mountain range. So just to give you a reference. So we're gonna head back through there this morning, and we're hoping that we'll get pretty close to Fairbanks today before the snow hits, or freezing rain, or whatever comes first. But I guess we'll see. We'll keep you posted as we go. Wish us luck. You ready to go, Tyga?
Hey, darling, I love it when it's me and you on the road with a couple of tunes in a car for two. Hey, darling, you know we're gonna have a really good time, driving in the middle of the night when the stars are bright. Pack our bags and get in that car, leave a little note and we'll drive real far.
Now we've touched some water above the Arctic. How did it feel?
it's pretty cold here. Touch some water.
Oh wow, that's cold.
You get some too. Alright, that's pretty much like touching the Arctic Ocean. It'll make it there one day.
If it ever thaws.
It'll thaw next summer.
It's kind of funny. We think we saw this guy yesterday on our drive in. And when we saw him, I think we were like pretty early on in our adventures. But looks like he made it through the mountains last night and was taking a nap. And we're about to cross into avalanche territory. I'm guessing that's why he stopped right there. Through the mountains here, there's some signs that say you are not allowed to stop because you're in avalanche territory.
I'm gonna let this truck go around. These truckers drive on a mission.
Yeah, they really do.
Let's get out, we can leave this city. Let's drive to the open air. Yeah, the countryside is so pretty, with the wind blowing in your hair.
Alright, we're in the avalanche zone, so no stopping. We're heading up into the mountains, up through the pass here. It's looking like Narnia, that's for sure. Absolutely wild. We've already climbed quite a bit, as you can see. The road down there. And we're still going up. Alright, we made it to the top. Now it's just a slow downhill. We're gonna really creep just because it's so darn cold here and everything's very frozen. The car says it's 28, but it definitely feels a heck of a lot colder than that.
Little bird just sitting on the side of the road. Did you see him?
No, it's just chilling.
Literally.
Even though everything's super cold and frozen and there's all kinds of snow around here, luckily the road, while it might be sort of frozen, is dirt, and so David said it doesn't feel like it's slick at all, so he's still getting lots of traction, which is good since we're just heading straight down the mountain now. This little orange flag up here should mean we're just about out of avalanche zone. Good news. As you can see up there, there's the pipeline. It seemed like it was underground the whole way feeling?
I'm tired. I'm doing okay. Definitely not a lot of sleep. Tried to get up early to beat the snowstorm tonight, so it's gonna be a sleepy drive back, but definitely rather be sleepy than frustrated and stuck out in the snow.
We've made some pretty good progress. We already made it back past Coldfoot, and I think we're only maybe 15 minutes from the Arctic Circle now. When we were in Coldfoot, we looked at the weather because we had a few bars of service, and unfortunately it seems like the weather has turned a bit. It was, this morning it was calling for snow maybe in this evening to start around 4 or 5 p.m. if not later. But when we got to Coldfoot and looked at the weather, it's changed to starting within the next hour, actually sooner now. It's been a while. So we've made our way a little farther south, but as we've come over some of these mountain or ridges, whatever they are, you know, when we've looked in the distance, we can now see the clouds kind of turning to white foggy mist over the mountains ahead, which we're guessing is probably snow. So unfortunately we're getting pretty close to it, but I guess I'm just glad we left when we did, or it probably would have been a much slower go than it's going to be. We are headed into the snow. The road looks like it is mostly covered up ahead. So here it starts. Just yesterday. When we came through yesterday, the weather on the side of the river we're headed to now was really snowy and icy. That's when we were considering turning around. So we'll see what it brings this time. It's a pretty big river. But luckily it looks like yesterday's snow has already melted off over here. So hopefully we'll have an uneventful drive back. So coming through here today, the road's not so bad, and luckily everything is cleared, but it looks like there's definitely been some freezing rain here. So many of the trees are really hunched over and really have quite a thick coating of what looks like ice and snow to give them that texture. But luckily the road hasn't been too bad. There's been a few spots that we needed to turn on the four-wheel drive, and it was pretty slippery, but mostly just because it was so muddy. And we've reached pavement again. We are officially off of the Dalton Highway. We've lived to tell the tale. We had to stop to take another picture with the Dalton Highway sign now that we've finished our task. At least as much of it as we could finish. So we're headed back towards Fairbanks now. The road really feels as smooth as butter after what we've been on. Kind of funny. But we got out and it already feels a heck of a lot warmer than it did before. The car says it's 45 degrees, which feels awfully balmy compared to what we had this morning. So nice sunny skies and should be smooth sailing we found a spot to stay for the night. It's right outside Fairbanks. It's a heck of a lot warmer here. I think it's in the 50s or 60s. And the kitties are really happy to be outside.
We can look back someday, baby, don't you understand?